His name is Philip Carlyle, and he is hurrying to catch a plane.
ETA in New York, Mr. Carlyle, 9:45 p.m.
If that anonymous phone call I received from New York means what I suspect, then they'll already have met by the time I reach New York. Tandy and Melissa, my stepdaughter, and her mother, my wife. I love them both dearly, but they're both so hard, so strong-willed. It was the clash of their egos that drove Tandy to run away from home. If I'm not there to mediate when they meet again, I just may lose my stepdaughter for good.
And so the 8:30 from Cleveland takes flight, bound for New York. It is 9 p.m., and there is little traffic to impede the priest's car as he guides it toward the Midtown Tunnel, leading from Manhattan.
How long will it take us to get there, Father?
A little over 2 hours, my child.
Tandy Bowen sits, demurely dressed, in the front seat beside Father Francis Delgado, trying hard to think what she will say when reunited with her mother again, and trying hard to ignore the brooding presence, swathed in shadow on the seat behind her.
I'm going home, Cloak. Be happy for me.
Cloak says nothing. Since the night a criminal drug experiment endowed two runaways with strange and terrible powers of light and darkness, he has felt himself bound to Dagger in a way that transcends mere affection. He needs Dagger to satiate the hungering darkness inside of him, hunger that would feed on others were it not appeased by her excess light. Cloak feels that it is their mission to save other kids from those who would prey on them that binds Dagger to him. Despite Dagger's assurances otherwise, Cloak believes that if they were normal, the two of them would not be together long. Cloak can't bring himself to believe it, but Dagger now seems ready to abandon their mission. This is what scares Cloak the most, for he loves Dagger. He cannot lose her, and yet, if he really does love her, shouldn't he want what's best for her? If so, he must let her go.
I learned by placing an anonymous phone call to your stepfather regarding your welfare that your mother was modeling on Long Island. I thought you might want to use that information, Tandy, to forge a way home for yourself.
Long Island's sort of a plebeian locale for Mom. She usually prefers assignments in more exotic places like the Riviera or Rio.
The address I was given is on the North Shore. The Great Gatsby was set amidst the mentions there.
A retreat for the rich, huh? Like Shaker Heights in Cleveland. And the home I ran away from. That's where Mom and I were different. She needed money like a fish needs water. I grew up a poor little rich girl, but I never craved wealth like she did. My dad chucked it too, leaving Mom and me to go off to India to contemplate his navel or something. So he got his inner peace. Mom got her career, his assets, and a new husband. I got the keys to a lonely house.
Still, you do want to return home.
I want to be normal again, Father. Just an average, upper-class 16-year-old girl, instead of a costumed vigilante. That life brings me no joy, only anger and despair amid the filthiest dives in New York. I've helped others with my light. Now, I'd like to help myself.
The priest smiles, and Cloak stifles a snarl. As the car reaches the wealthy town of Sands Point,
The directions in your map indicate that the address we're looking for is right on Long Island Sound, Father. I don't know how Mom is going to react when she sees me. But I'm not going to leave till she knows that I love her and that I want us both to go home together.
Cloak can no longer fool himself. She really is leaving him this time. He has to make his decision now.
I can feel the hollow sinkholes that pass for your eyes, boring into the back of my skull, Cloak. I know you hate me for trying to reunite Dagger with her family, but she isn't a child of the streets like you. She's a nice kid from a nice neighborhood who's just not equipped to deal with the horror your existences have become. Ever since the mob kidnapped you two runaways as guinea pigs in a diabolical drug experiment.
Dope's getting too expensive to import. So Dr. Marshall here has whipped up a synthetic substitute, which you kids are gonna test for us. The kids begged, pleaded, fought, to no avail. Of the dozen or so injected with the drug, only Tyrone Johnson and Tandy Bowen survived.
Run, Tandy. We gotta escape.
Ty, I'm burning up inside.
It was the drug, interacting with their unique biochemistries, that created personifications of darkness and light. Cloak and Dagger. Cloak's cape of darkness can enfold his foes and subject them to unspeakable terror. With Dagger inside, Cloak can enfold upon himself and shadow travel from one place to another. Then, from darkness, Dagger emerges to hurl her light knives, shocking those who are struck to their very souls. But Dagger hates her powers, hates using them to punish people she doesn't even know.
It is my duty, my calling, my desire to free her from the life Cloak forces her to lead. To free the angel of light from the demon of darkness.
The highway winds, following the shoreline, and leads to a mansion situated on a hill overlooking a private cove. There, a party for New York's cognoscenti spills over from the house to the landscaped lawn. David, can't your little friends find something to do in the game room? You mean like play while you party, Dad? Geez, we can't even get the chauffeur to take us to a movie. All the limos have got to wait to drive your dad's drunken guests home. What a drag. It's their hypocrisy that disgusts me. Don't drink, they say. Don't take drugs. And look at them, high as kites. Some example they're setting for us. Come on, let's get out of here. How? Your dad gave you the keys to your tricycle? Funny, very funny. Hey Samuels, I'm taking the rolls out to the drive-in. I'm afraid that your father gave me rather explicit orders regarding the use of the car tonight, Master David. Samuels, you give me a pain. Yeah, shove off, Samuels. Keys are in the ignition, David. Can you drive? Well, I got my learner's permit. But I never actually, drove. Looks pretty easy. Let me try. Sure. This is fun. No, it's not fun. It's boring. Like everything else in our lives. Another lousy holiday home from boarding school, just to be ignored while our folks get themselves sauced. I wish there was some way we could make them notice us.
I wish there was some way we could bust up their happy little party.
I wish there was some way we could hurt them. Hey, troops! There is! Half the guests came by yacht. What if something like happened so that they couldn't get home?
Oh gee, one of those boats belongs to Daddy.
He spends more time sailing it than he does with you, Gail.
Where'll we start, John?
With the pride of the fleet, of course. The small motor dinghy carries the angry adolescents from the dock to the nearest of the trim, elegant, and expensive vessels moored at the private marina. The Mary Two. Dad named her that after he divorced my mom and married his second wife. Her name was Mary, too. Get it?
Sense of humor runs in the family, huh, Peter?
Blame Dad. I do. For everything.
Oh, let's forget our folks and have a party.
Just like they are. Just for us kids. All right! Cast loose from her mooring lines, the sleek ship drifts across the cove. Avast me hearties! Ship ahoy!
Oh, gee.
Scratch the paint. Is that all? I heard something spill below decks. Below decks?
He means the cabin.
A regular sailor at heart. Well, I'm gonna go see. Wow. The collision must have busted open Dad's liquor locker. Looks like your old man kept enough stock for 100 liquid lunches. Well, his clients get thirsty when he takes them sailing to discuss business deals. Seeing him sail home drunk always used to burn me up. Holy smokes! You said it, pal.
Well, we wanted their attention.
We're gonna get it now, unless we get out of here. But even as the rich kids cast off from the flaming vessel, the light from its burning reaches other eyes.
Cloak, look. A fire on the water.
Ships burning at their moorings.
Only Cloak notices how close to their destination they are. His decision made, Cloak seizes this excuse to sweep Dagger away from the priest's influence and to try to reignite her dedication to their mission.
Come, Dagger.
No! She doesn't do that anymore!
Despite the priest's protestations, Tandy Bowen is enveloped in Cloak's crepuscular cape and swept away. And across the cove...
Wow.
Anybody got a fiddle? 'Cause part of Dad's empire is sure burning now, and he and his friends are too sauced to even have noticed it.
They will soon. And we'd best be gone before somebody thinks to blame this on us.
Even if we were caught, our folks would just buy off the cops and courts to avoid the embarrassment. But they won't be sailing, not for a while.
Well, they did tell us to amuse ourselves. They'll have something else to think about besides their stupid old party now.
And so, firebugs, will you?
Cloak, I don't want to do this.
Who, the devil? Their mission has always been to protect the young.
You have admitted your guilt. Confess to your crime.
Even as he realizes he's initiated an assault on those they have sworn to safeguard, Cloak feels himself losing control as the hunger swells within him. In trying to regain Dagger, he just may lose everything.
And now, you must be punished.
For heaven's sake, Cloak, stop it. What does punishing these kids have to do with our mission? Punishing those who prey on kids?
Our mission, Dagger? I thought you were abandoning me, turning your back upon who and what we are, and going home.
Is that why you're doing this, Cloak? Because you're angry at me? Because I'm leaving you? You're going to have to learn to live without me, Cloak. To live and let live.
From Dagger's fingers, her light knives fly, assuaging Cloak's hunger for living light, if not his anger.
You can't bind me to you this way, Cloak.
We need each other, Dagger.
I need to stop existing like this. And so do you. There's only one way to see if we can change.
Please, you're not gonna hurt us, are you? Cloak still grasps at his last hope for keeping Dagger at his side, and is relieved when it begins to pay off.
Not if you reveal the reason you set this fire.
To get back at our parents, to hurt them, as they've hurt us.
Hurt you? How?
By ignoring us, by thinking they could buy our love with money.
Can't you see what a demon Cloak is, Tandy? can't you stop him from torturing these poor children?
These poor children just caused millions of dollars in damage, Father. And Cloak's trying to find out why.
Well, we just wanted to get our folks' attention. But they're too busy partying, too stoned to care.
Sounds like my mom's crowd, and the way I grew up. Well, your parents are going to learn what you've done, and why you've done it. And then maybe they'll pay more attention to you than my folks ever paid to me.
As Dagger's fury carries her from the marina up towards the mansion on the hill, the priest spies something that gives him a shock.
That name on the plaque.
Is something wrong, priest?
The address I wrote down. The name of the person hosting the party at which Tandy will be reunited with her mother. I must check and see if they are the same.
Yes. Dagger will charge in full of righteous fury to confront a mother who never really loved her. And who do you think she will turn to when she is rejected again, priest? Who?
Excuse me, miss, but this is an adult party.
Right, I know. No kids allowed. Hey, I'm looking for the host.
None of the partygoers answers Tandy, merely turning to stare curiously at her, as if she were a fish out of water.
Gee, is anybody home?
That depends, little girl,
On what?
on who you were looking for and what it is you want. Good times, bad times,
We've got any kind of times you want.
and you've got things we want.
Oh, yes. Huh?
Indeed.
Get away from me. You're all drunk, stoned, disgusting. Oh dear, I think I know that voice. Tandy, dearest, what a pleasant surprise. Mom? Are these your friends? Of course they are, darling. Do you like them? They like you. But let me introduce you to everyone. This is my dear daughter, Tandy Bowen. Such a sweet young thing, isn't she? She was given everything money could buy, anything a child could want. And do you know how she repaid her stepfather and I?
Tell us, Melissa.
She ran away from home. That's how. The little ingrate. Mother, why are you trying to humiliate me in front of these people? Humiliate you? Selfish Tandy. That's what you are. What you've always been. Did you ever stop to think of how humiliated I would be by your running away? All the talk I had to endure about how I must have mistreated you, misread you, and the expense involved, private detectives, newspaper advertisements. Luckily, your stepfather handled most of the tawdry details of finding you. But nevertheless, Mother, stop talking, Mother. For once in your life, shut up and pay some attention to me.
The light pours forth from within Tandy Bowen, then in an irresistible wave, until she's got her mother's undivided attention.
Yes, you gave me everything. To keep me busy. To keep me from bothering you. Yes, you bought me things. As if gifts could take the place of love. Oh, Mother, I didn't want your handouts. All I ever wanted was you.
What did you do to them, Dagger?
Filled them with light, Cloak, to try and illuminate the emptiness of their lives.
Do you still wish to go home?
No, there's no one here who loves me as much as you do.
No!
Yes, priest. Yes.
His taunting masks Cloak's hollow victory. One day he may fully realize he betrayed true love for his own selfish needs. Perhaps he will never realize this and again run the risk of alienating Dagger. Only time will tell. A taxi cab fresh from Kennedy International Airport deposits Phil Carlisle before the veranda of the Winograd mansion.
What the devil kind of laugh was that? The devil's laugh indeed. Cloak's laugh. I don't understand. I'm Phil Carlisle, and mine is the sad duty to inform you that the devil disappeared with your stepdaughter. You see, we both arrived too late.
Manhattan.
Independent Investigation Commission, my eye.
You have a better suggestion, Detective O'Reilly?
Blasted right I do. We learned during that porn bust last week that cops here in the 23rd Precinct are on the take. Let me investigate.
It would look good if one of our own cleaned house. But you'll be making a lot of enemies, O'Reilly.
Tell me about it, Captain.
The city, for all its inhabitants, is a strangely solitary place. A place where people can be lost in their loneliness. Together.